Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Naya, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. Sometimes seeing a full grown man come out here to tap dance for these people is very crazy. But I have been seeing a lot of it, but I will leave it at that. Right now, this woman, they are saying that they never knew about some certain things going on, especially what black people have been through and what their own people did to black people and all that. And the other woman was talking about how majority of the things she talks about, like before they could even finish it, black people would tell them that they knew it. How come? Does it mean that they are not informed and all that? Madam, unfortunately, you people are not informed, right? I know some school failed so many people, which is normal because they try as much as they can to whitewash majority of the things going on. But what happened to you educating yourself, because knowledge is power? Most times you do not have to depend on what school is teaching you, school curriculum and all that. Black people, the people you've been living for years, have been telling you people the same word over and over. And you all never sat down to ask, to think, why is it that these people have been saying the same thing over and over? Let me go and check this out. You have your phone, you have your internet, you say that you are a developed country, not somebody that will have to climb a tree to find internet, because they say we always climb trees or to get internet or something like that. So how come you all are not informed? Let's get into this video.
Who freed the slaves? White people. Who lost hundreds of thousands of people in the Civil War?
Hey, FUMES, fuck up, facial here. You've been doing this pandering bullshit for months now. And the only attention you got are from the same people that hate your black ass. So what I'm gonna do, older black man, OG black man, to a young dumbass, I'm gonna do something I normally wouldn't do. But let me give you a message.
Turn on 48 phantom power.
They ain't gonna pick your black ass.
Turn off 48 phantom power.
We get it. Every morning you wake up black is a morning you hate yourself. Not that I care. I mean, I wake up every morning and I go, anything sexier than this? Raul kept it for himself. But not you. That's why you keep going to the same barber that keeps fucking up your face. Watch this. I'm gonna fuck his whole beard up. He came in with that bullshit. Watch what he leave out here looking like. He gonna look like Timu shoe. You know, Fu Manchu. You got Timu shoe. Anyway, we get it. You so desperately want to be white, it isn't even funny. I got it. I don't care. I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. But if they haven't picked you yet, what the fuck? I mean, you know, I understand it took Officer Tatum a while to bubble up. It took Jeff Meade a while to bubble up. Candace Owens bubbled up after getting paid by black folks helping her get paid. Then she turned into this, whatever the fuck. I get it. I understand. So this is the beginning of your grip. This is like Griff Man begins. I got that. You're going so hard in the paint that even white people are like, nah, I'm good. Him? Mm-mm. He trying too hard. He trying way too hard. You ever seen a dude try way too hard to get a woman's attention? You ever seen that? He says all the things she wants to hear. He's all nice and rubbing her feet and shit like that. You know women don't like that motherfucker, right? You know that, right? Please tell me you know that. You pandering way too hard. Way too hard. Like you're above and beyond pandering at this point, buddy. You ham-fisting the pandering, and dog, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. They don't care, man. Listen, let me help you out. Because obviously you need help. So I'm gonna speak in the parlance of men your age. You pandering way too goddamn hard. Way too hard, buddy. Way too hard. You doing the most for the least. Like, white people are turned off by you. They're like, oh, that black boy wants something. He wants something. All that ass kissing and they still ain't picked your ass up. That's sad, bro. That's sad as shit. Do you even own a self-esteem? Do you? Do you own any self-esteem, or have you sold all of it? Obviously, you must have to get this fucking hairstyle. And I mean, come on, man. Like, for real. That white barber is doing you no favors. None. No favors. And you're doing all of this for what? For what? Please pick me? No. They're out here avoiding your motherfucking ass like child support. You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. Bruh, go get your self-esteem, man. Go get your self-esteem, brother. Go get your motherfucking self-esteem. Cause right now, you are acting like somebody who really, really wants to be adopted. However, you know you can't be adopted because
your mama's still working in them $10 houses.
Just pandering. Tap shoes hurt like a motherfucker. You done literally looked at your whole damn soul and been like, bruh. Hey, y'all. Hey. Y'all see Andre negative 3,000 right here?
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Just out here tapping. Still ain't came and got your ass. Bruh. Hey, yo.
Turn on 48 phantom power.
They still ain't picking your dumb ass.
I have never been more disappointed as a white woman. I have been deconstructing a lot. I have been deconstructing the Mormon faith that I grew up in, but not only that, I've been deconstructing my own white culture. And what I've come to realize, and that's been honestly probably not a huge surprise to anyone else, but for me it was a huge surprise to realize and learn that white culture is racism. White culture is white supremacy. How did I grow up not knowing the names of people like Emmett Till, of people like Solomon Northup, of people like, I did learn about Harriet Tubman, but you know, she was pretty mainstreamed, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. All three of those, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King, I was taught growing up. Like, for example, Malcolm X, he's a rioter. Martin Luther King, he wasn't good. He was a plagiarizer. He plagiarized his work. What? And back then, hearing it, be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he doesn't deserve a whole day to himself. He was quintessential for changing the civil rights movement. Watching Solomon Northup's 12 Years a Slave was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Watching the Nottoway plantation burn and see my palm-colored relatives say, oh, how sad. Oh, it's gone. After learning what happens on those plantations, especially after the 12 Years a Slave, what do you mean you want to celebrate love and eternity and marriage on a place that was so heavily focused on hatred and ownership and torture and rape? I mean, I also I watched on YouTube Unseen Memoirs and Unseen Memories back when in the 20s, when they went the last generation of born slaves, born into slavery individuals, and they would stake them down, each arm, each leg, so you can't curl and whip them. But not only that, as if completely shredding their back open isn't bad enough, they're gonna go ahead and sprinkle salt on top and let you fry there in the sun. And most of the time, you end up not making it. You die from getting beat to death. Now, my ancestors, during that time, were creating a cult. They weren't rich enough to own slaves, so they tried to scam their own color, and they created a cult that is now the Mormon Church. Still very widely successful today. Yes, Joseph Smith is in these veins, unfortunately so. The Mormon Church on its own is so heavily racist. The fact that Joseph Smith allowed black people into the church and then all of a sudden, why not take black people's money too? You know, of course, but then they took that back and said, well, you can't get all of it. And it's just like that in America, from our healthcare system to every single thing. Voting, everything. You've seen that here in Atlanta with the issues of people not able to go and vote. Like, how dare we do that to them? This Nottoway plantation, it blew my mind that people that are still living in that area can track their ancestors back to that plantation, and to think that there are people having weddings there, that is not. I would be there every weekend fucking protesting if those were my ancestors. Like, what do you mean you are celebrating? If that happened to me and my ancestors, I would want to burn it all down. The whole acre, all of it. And the wealth. Because you know who really deserves that land? The people who made the money from it. The people who built it. The people who cultivated it. Not the people who whipped. We give Native Americans land. Where is their retribution? And it's up to us as white women who are deconstructing the patriarchy and breaking away from our ties to the white man to say, hey, that's not appropriate. That is racist. What you are doing is racist. That's a microaggression. Whether you want to think so or not, what you're saying is not appropriate. 13th, that movie, Khalif Browder, how he sent that man to hang himself because he wouldn't take a plea off of something he, poor child, knew he didn't do. I need more resources. I need more education. I follow the White Woman Whisperer and Knitting Cult Lady. I love them. I'm deconstructing my white privilege, and I need help. I need more resources. I am so ashamed. I have so much guilt and shame when I see my people online sad that, like Shyla Hendricks. Oh, what the fuck? What do you mean? What? Are fucking racist. White people, the only culture we have and that we know is racism and colonization. That's all we know. That's all we know. And that's so sick. It's fucking disgusting. And I hate that I'm 30 years old and just now waking.
When white people see my posts about racism in America, frequently they say, I didn't know. When black people see these comments, they say, we already know. There is no way you didn't know. Don't pretend you didn't. This disconnect is really hard to explain, and I've been trying to understand it myself. I'm going to be digging into this really deep because I think it's so important. It's not that we're just oblivious white people. It's that we've been groomed to be oblivious white people. People point out that it's not like this stuff is locked in some vault somewhere. It's available. You can see it. And that's true. But we were trained not to ask questions. We were trained not to look for it. And I see it in my family. I see it in my circle of friends, even some of my friends that are pretty progressive. We have this ingrained training to not ask too many questions. We were taught to trust authority figures, teachers, ministers, police officers, politicians, the anchor guy on the evening news. We believed them because we were groomed from childhood to believe that they were trustworthy. We were not taught that the system itself, the system they were part of, was designed to protect itself first. And frankly, it felt good just to trust them. It's like you had this permanent mommy and daddy figure. It made life feel safe. The gaps in white knowledge were filled in with lies. We were told that poor people were lazy, that's why they're poor. That crime existed in black neighborhoods because they were black neighborhoods. That broken families cause poverty. These ideas were not questioned. They were treated as common sense. And we were started with our grooming as infants, as little tiny babies, as little bitty kids that are impressionable and just forming our ideas about the world. So that was our social foundation. We were told that Black people can't keep their marriages together. I was even told that the reason they couldn't keep their marriages together was because of how they were treated during slavery. So out of one side of their mouth, they'd say, wasn't that horrible that families were split up during slavery? But now that has just become part of who they are. And so it's their fault. I don't know, it didn't make sense to me either. We also were not told that welfare benefits were not available if there was a man in the house, a Black woman working 2 jobs who still needed support to raise her children, could not have a husband or partner living in the house with her. And of course, we were taught that that was their fault because they couldn't keep their marriages together. As we were growing up and we started to repeat these beliefs, we were seen as respectful and well-adjusted. I don't know, are you getting pissed off? I'm getting pissed off just going through this again. We were guided by the TV news and movies and TV shows to care when white people suffered and to disconnect from the pain of other people. We were taught to feel patriotic about our country without questioning whether they were being truthful with us about why we should feel such patriotism. When we asked those white authority figures that we were taught to trust, we were lied to. Now, when Black people give us honest answers, we don't fully trust them. It's not about ignorance, it's about conditioning. My education is in behavior analysis, and that's how that works. You just expose someone to a social system that supports a certain line of thinking, and you fall for it, especially if you are started out as a young kid being taught all that stuff. And that's what happens to all of us. We were taught that silence is polite and that truth about society is rude or inappropriate. And as a girl that went to a fundamentalist Christian church, that was even more so. You don't ask questions that are going to make people uncomfortable. But that comfort, you see, it kept us obedient. It kept us from asking too many questions. It kept us from wanting to do anything about it because we didn't fully understand that there was something that needed to be done. We were used to preserve a system that depended on our own silence. It kept us from befriending Black people. It kept us from knowing what the hell we thought we knew about those people. So when white people say, I didn't know about any of this, understand what that really means. We were trained not to look. We were trained to believe the stories that we were told by the authority figures. We were shaped by a system that used your trust against you. We were trained to look away. And now we have a choice. White people, we need to get angry about being kept in the dark all these years so that together with our Black neighbors and neighbors of all races, we can break down this oppressive system that has brought us here to the point of fascism. Check the caption for some documentaries to help you get started learning. We need to really get curious.
This is all I got from this video, and I am going to say this. I promise you I won't stay so long. And that is, one thing I have watched Black people do so far is the fact that Black people have really been very loud when it comes to, when I say loud, whatever they are passing through, whatever they are going through, they do not keep quiet. They don't keep quiet. They say it loud and clear. And they've been saying it for so long till this very moment. Sometimes it is not about school teaching you or school not teaching you. I understand it is so vital, very important that school teaches all this. But in a situation where school are not teaching, and the same people have been very consistent with the same thing they've been saying, they never miss a word. They say it the way it is. right? They've been saying this thing for how many decades? You people still did not hear. Sometimes when I talk about educating yourself, some people might think it's me probably being proud or trying to make no. Educate yourself. It's just like the way she said that when she sees something new, she thinks that she is bringing something new. And then in the comment section, Black people are telling them that they knew. But doesn't you guys are not informed. See, now let me tell us something. Sometimes wisdom is very profitable. Some people think it's all about being, because to them it's the superior this thing, but I am not gonna lie to you. These people do not know even a lot about their own history. They are not that enlightened. This is just me telling you this, and you know it too. Some know what they are doing. Some do not even understand themselves. It is that bad that some of them don't even understand what their ancestors did. And they don't also want to read. Then to tell you how stupid they are, they now come on the internet, then open their mouth when they are not even sure of what they are saying to talk nonsense. I remember there was an interview that happened last 2 years, not last year, last 2 years, about a particular woman who she is conservative, right? And like she was causing so much problem on the internet, always looking for a way to get into Black people's skin and all of that. So I think at some point she had an interview, and it was a live interview. Guess what? So she was asked, because every time you hear them say woke, 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 at some point it looks like maybe we don't even know the meaning of woke anymore. Maybe we Black people formed that woke up. Black people knew what they were saying. So they asked her, what is woke? She said that at this point in time that she cannot define woke because woke had so many broad meanings. They say, we know it has so many, but just give us one. Hey, I am not lying. She doesn't even know the meaning of woke. If you've been following me here, you absolutely will remember about that lady that say, yeah, I cannot, we don't have a lot of that. I cannot be able to define woke now because it has the meaning is so, what is so long? What being woke, what is so long about it? That is to tell you how they can go any length to make sure that your visibility is overshadowed. Black people have been teaching you people from the beginning, for decades, since slavery onset. They taught you people to clean, to wash, to do everything, even history. They did that assignment for you people. At some point, they stopped because you have to help yourself. They said, if there is something you need to know about Black people, go learn it. And now, before I conclude, like I said, I don't want this video to be very long, and it's looking like it's going to be long. A very big shout out for Bishop Thomas for taking care of that cocoon. Yes. Who stopped slavery. Some people, I just don't know where they are coming from, because I don't know. I see, one thing I have said is that no matter how bad it is, I will never, ever turn against my people for money. This is something I will never in my life do. No matter how broke I am going, I would rather be broke and have my dignity. Right? You see that moment I start turning around from saying the truth to saying the truth to looking for a way to divert the truth. Unfollow me. Please unfollow me. It is me telling you. Because seeing this grown man coming out here to lie, the one, if they are going to pick, they will pick him and his butt and everything about him. When I see them, I ask myself, who raised them? But one thing I know in this life is When your parents when they raise you, at some point you have to start raising yourself. My parents raised me to an extent. I started school. I started raising myself. Because if I say who raised this one, did not raise it, do I know how maybe the parents did a very great job, and now he decided to spoil his own life by himself, and now the curse is going to the parents, God forbid. You see that moment a full grown up start turning against his own community. It's actually a bad omen. I am going to draw the curtain here. Bye for now.